it's like, dude, if there is a God, okay, or if there is some sort of like karmic justice, they're a fucking asshole, okay? It's not lined up in favor of the good, okay? Good things are not happening. It's just bad things that are happening, okay? No good things, only bad things. And what I mean by that is because, like, just everything is stacked up against, everything is stacked in favor of Donald Trump. Stacked in favor of Donald Trump getting reelected.
Mayor, come Christmas time, thanks to rising inflation and a supply crisis, gifts are going to cost you a fortune. And that's even if you're lucky enough to snag anything, thanks to massive delays rocking the supply chain. Store shelves are looking pretty empty as U.S. ports struggle to unload deliveries. And get this, major retailers are actually being forced to charter their own ships. And on top of all of that, Biden's massive spending plans are set to make things 100 times worse. He's set to address the supply crisis tomorrow, he says. And Jen Psaki was pressed on why the president isn't being more forceful with the unions to loosen work restrictions that would ease the flow of goods.
We have taken steps at times when warranted to loosen restrictions, as you saw in reaction to some natural disasters we've had over the course of the year. Ultimately, the president's focus is addressing the needs, the challenges, and the threats to the American people to their well-being, to their economic well-being, and he'll consider a range of options. But again, the supply chain task force has been working for months to address these issues.
The task force. And where's Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg? He hasn't been to a White House briefing since this whole crisis started. And when he manages to get in front of a camera, he doesn't say much.
We do believe there's a role for the federal government to play to help smooth out some of these supply chain issues. It's largely a private sector system. We are funding, of course, as a department, a lot of work on the rails, on the roads, and supporting trucking, which is also a
Oh, dude, if there's any sweet victory, it's that Biden, that old fuck, who still has a little bit of spunk in him. You know what I mean? Like old conniving, old school conniving politician spunk in him, shifts the blame in its entirety onto Pete Buttigieg, front loads all of that to him, and just destroys any fucking chance that Pete has at like winning the Democratic nomination. Oh fuck, that would be so good. He put Kamala in charge of the border, okay? And now everyone's yelling about like, why is Kamala not at the border? And now this shit's popping off. If he just turns around and he's just like, come on, Jack, I put the young guy on it. You know, the gay one. Figure it out, Buttigieg. Oh, Jesus Christ. Cut the malarkey, I said. And then everybody's just like yelling at him for not being able to get a fucking PS5 or whatever. Oh, that'd be so sick. That would be so excellent, dude. It's like, oh.
Big issue. We've got some real challenges on the labor side with the turnover of truck drivers that can make it harder to get goods to where they need to go. Some of this is a bigger picture, longer term issue that's going to take years and years to address.
Years and years to address, Dana.
Wow.
Kind of a laid-back attitude from the administration.
Is there like no urgency for anything?
No.
Like why we just feel so much urgency during the campaign?
The treats. Is there no urgency for this? I mean, they are speaking to their audience perfectly, by the way. This is literally like the best. This is commentary that fits perfectly within the realm of whatever the fuck Fox News watchers want. They want to know when their fucking, jalapenos are coming. The jalapeno
president
poppers.
during the primary campaign. Joe Biden said about Mayor Pete that he's so inexperienced that, well, Joe Biden's been in Washington all this time. He's only been putting twinkly lights under a bridge. I mean, that was how insulting he was to him. And now you have somebody who was literally in charge of the ports and the airlines. And he's like, yeah, I'm hanging out with AOC at the dog park. Yesterday, he tweeted about Indigenous Peoples Day. And you think, again, I mentioned this yesterday about Kamala Harris. Like, you are in these positions of power. You're in a position to do something, or at least.
Yeah, why is the big government not commanding the private sector? Love it. I'm on board. Let's do it. Hey, that's socialism. You can clip that and be like, oh my God, socialism is when big government commands the private sector, blah, 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 and then fucking cry about it for hours, okay? By the way, the original person who fucking quoted me when I was like fucking memeing about Austin saying that stadiums are capitalism is a fan. Like, I knew that already. I was talking about an entire separate group of people who like latched onto it to fucking be like, oh, this guy's so stupid, dude. Anyway. Are they really complaining about how the government is not big enough? Yeah, I fucking don't get it, dude. I don't know what's going on there. It's kind of strange. Kind of seems like they want some good old wholesome big government interference there.
Just let people know we care, because
That was weeks ago, though. I know, but it doesn't fucking matter. People are like losing their minds all the time.
nothing says return to normal like a shortage of toilet paper, which is what we're about to see. And we are getting into this crisis of confidence danger zone. When little Jesse Jr. can't get his Christmas presents, that's going to be bad.
Oh, no.
That will be bad, and he will not be happy about it. However, I think there's another thing here. It's beyond people not getting Christmas presents. Think of all the companies and the people who do seasonal holiday work, right? Where they're helping ship things out and get things on the stores. All those companies that hire people for the holidays, there will be no need to do that.
You're an elf.
And what's the ripple effect?
You're an elf at the mall.
I know. You and I have so much fun doing
It's
that.
great.
I know.
Santa's always drunk.
And we do it for free.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
All right, Greg, was it 2 months ago, Joe Biden came out and said, our experts believe, this is a quote, that these bottlenecks and price spikes will reduce as our company continues to heal. That was 2 months ago.
First, I got to point out that the best part about the story is that there's a backlog of toilet paper. The worst thing to have when there's no TP is a backlog. So, yeah.
Great, dude. Most popular. This is the king of late night, by the way. Love that. Absolutely love that.
Thank you.
That's about the best joke he's told this season.
Really? You haven't been here.
If you combine,
so true.
so what we're seeing right now is we're combining inflation with scarcity. This is a new thing. So we're finally getting the dystopia that the media said Trump was going to bring us, except it's old Joe who's bringing us Soylent Green and bringing us to the Thunderdome that Trump didn't. I think our political leaders, while you're not sensing the urgencies, don't mind these problems. They don't mind that you pay more for gas because that's you drive less, right? Yeah. And the fact that you have less money in the bank means you have to rely on them. So it becomes more of a government state. So there's no urgency. Their kids are going to get the gifts that your kids aren't going to get because that's why they're in politics, to be exempt from the scarcity that we have to deal with. Remember the
What? Wait, one, who was the president when we ran out of toilet paper? And two, politicians got into politics so they can get the fucking, so they could get the treats before everybody else? What? I'm getting into politics to get my friend a PS5 for Christmas. Please vote for me. The First Amendment was a fucking mistake. Yeah, every day I get closer and closer to a Chinese-style authoritarian grip on what the press can and can't say. The more I watch Fox News, the more I'm like, maybe we should jail fucking pundits. Of course, in a situation like the United States of America, the first pundit that was going to jail would be me. And not these fucking reactionary weirdos, but, you know, I just dream away, I guess.